With the massive victory of Trump in the US presidential elections, now it has been stated by a number of economic analysts and even the stock market analysts that the US economy is going to go on an upward swing. That means it's going to be a beneficial state for the USA due to the win of Trump. And at the same time, there is news and there are people who are stating that US stocks are also going to go upwards. And many people, as investors, would be benefiting due to this bull run in the market. Now, it's quite obvious that as a person from India, you too may want to take the advantage of this benefit in the US stock market. Being in India here, you may also be thinking that can I take the advantage of the boom in the US stock market? Will it benefit me directly or will it benefit me indirectly? So, this is our topic of discussion today on Commerce Gyan, where we are going to talk about how can you invest in the stock market in the USA. So, directly, can you invest in the stock market of the US? If yes, then what is the process flow of this investment? What are the methods by which you can invest in the stocks and take the advantage of the benefits that will flow to you in dollars? And what and very, very important, what are the major precautions that you need to keep in mind, take care when you are actually investing in the US stock market? So let's proceed to the discussion of this particular topic on Commerce Gyan. But before that, just in case you have not joined this journey of Commerce Gyan, where we are going to talk about different interesting subjects related to commerce, relating to industry, economics, law, and other things which are beneficial and important in your day to day life. Just in case you have not joined this journey, do join this journey by hitting the subscribe button and also clicking the notification icon so that as soon as we upload a video, you get the notification. So let's proceed to understanding about the US stocks. The first key point that we need to understand is why should I invest as an Indian or as a person from India? Why should I invest in the US stock market? The first important reason why you should invest is because of the natural process of diversification. So we often say that the portfolio of any person should be diversified. It should not be stuck and or you should not keep all the eggs in one basket. That's what we always say. So diversification is the key reason that you can invest in the US stock markets. You can also take the advantage of the booming economy there. So because if you find that the stock prices are going up, you can directly take an advantage if you invest there. Also, at the same time, you will find that your risk is diversified because some stocks are in India, some stocks in the US. So, obviously, you will find the benefit of the risk division. And at the same time, you can also take the benefit of currency fluctuation. So, if at all the dollar becomes stronger and the rupee becomes weaker, then obviously your stock price is automatically having a benefit. Now we are going to see what are the methods of investing in the US stock market. The first method that by which you can actually invest in the US stock market is basically through a direct method. Just like we open a demat account in India through a bank, through a typical broker, and then you start trading on it after submission of documents and all, it gets activated, and on your own you can buy and sell the stocks which are in India. The same process flow you can do in the case of US stock. Basically, you will have to check out for a good broker in the US. So you will have to basically open a typical trading account with that broker and start trading. Now, what happens? Basically, here the first thing that would be asked for you when you're opening the trading account in the USA would be your documents like passport, PAN card, any typical proofs of residence, tax certificates, and other such things. So you will have to submit those documents. Most of the process obviously is going to be online. So once you submit it, your account gets opened. Now, in this case, that account, you can transfer the funds through the liberalized remittance scheme, LRS, as we call it. And the maximum limit in a year for any Indian citizen, any Indian resident from India you can transfer is $250,000. So to that extent, you can actually invest directly in the US stocks. Once your account gets opened, once the funds are transferred, the next step, obviously, you can directly start trading. You can pick up and choose the stocks that you like and buy those stocks, right? So you can directly buy and sell the shares whenever you feel convenient and take the advantage. The second method that you have is, if you don't want to go through the broker and if you don't want to actually open a direct account in the US broker firms, then you can actually contact your brokers in India. Some popular Indian brokers also allow the trading of US stocks. So only thing, you will have to get in touch with them and basically open that particular account which allows you to trade in the US stocks. The typical brokers which allow this are ICICI Bank, HDFC Securities, Kotak Securities. So to name a few, these are the ones who actually allow the buying and selling of US stocks. Only thing, you will have to make a simple process with them so that they start allowing you to do the trades. In this case, you can actually have a 3-in-1 account where you have a savings account, a trading account, and you also have the demat account, which is linked together. And you can transact as a regular demat account, right? So you have the ease of transfer of funds from your savings account to the trading account and so on. Secondly, it's important to note that when you're buying the shares from the US companies, you may find that their prices are quite high. But an advantage here is that you can also buy fractional shares. So you don't need to buy the entire share, one share of that company. So typically there are companies like Amazon and Google which have a huge price of the share, and so it may not be immediately possible for you to invest in that share. Then you can buy a fractional share of that company. That can also work. Also, here you will need to see that when you're opening this account, it is typically important to note that they will charge you a little higher fees in terms of commission and brokerage, because you're going to have a step-by-step thing. You will contact the Indian broker first. The Indian broker will get in touch with their US broker. Then US broker does the trading on their behalf, and then they process your transaction. So when a middleman, a person is involved, the obvious thing that is going to happen is a higher amount of brokerage and commission. So keep that in mind when you're going through the Indian broker firm when you're buying the US stocks. Now, just in case some people say, I don't want to go for the US stocks directly, is there anything which is like mutual funds in India? Definitely, there are mutual funds, there are ETFs also, where you can actually invest in them and not directly invest in the US stocks. So the advantage is just like the mutual funds in India, you can take the advantage of mutual funds in the USA. Here, obviously, you will have a little lower risk than as compared to direct buying and selling of stocks of the US. Obviously, when you're doing any such transaction and you're earning profits, when you're sitting in India and earning profits, what is going to happen? Your foreign income is going to come under the ambit of income tax. Remember this. So just like we have capital gain tax in India for Indian shares, you will have capital gain tax for whatever amount that you've earned on the US stock trading that you have done. Then you will also have to pay the dividend taxes as usual, and you will have to report this holding of the shares under your foreign assets. So there is a column in your income tax return where they ask you of whether or not you are holding any foreign assets. So in this case, the foreign asset is the shares or the stocks of the company. So you will have to make this reporting without fail in your income tax return whenever you're filing your return. So keep that in mind when, if at all, you buy the stocks or shares or mutual funds or ETFs in the other countries, specifically the US. Okay. And finally, we come to some key points to remember when you're doing such kind of trades. The first important thing is there is going to be exchange rate risk. What if you buy a share at a higher price and the dollar rate falls? So there's a weak or a vague possibility that the dollar rate can actually go down. Like if it's for 84, it goes down to, let's say, 75. Then what? Then my stock is going to be valued less in comparison to when I bought it. So obviously there is going to be foreign exchange currency risk, but you have to understand that in certain phases the dollar is going to grow stronger and stronger against the Indian rupee. So in that phase, if you buy the stocks and hold them, the price of the stock automatically is going to go up, right? In terms of exchange rate, right? Another thing is, if you're talking of the fees and the commissions, some brokers really charge high and hefty fees, so they may eat up all your profits in case you're not earning very high profits. So be careful if you are connecting to a particular broker directly or through an Indian broker. You are buying the stocks and shares. First of all, do understand, keep that in mind, that you will have to keep a track of what are the commissions and the charges that they are asking you to pay. So if that is too high, then you may try and switch to some other broker or try some other method of investment, right? And finally, just like we have the research to be done for Indian stocks, we will have to research and study the graphs and the charts and the overall picture of the stock and the company performance over a few years time period if you want to go for investment. Research about the stocks and the share price cannot be neglected. You will have to do the research if you are investing directly in the US stock market. So these are the key points to remember, and I hope this video can help you to understand that yes, you can have a chance of investment in the US stock market, and it is not quite difficult as it may look like investing in some other country. It's not so difficult also. You can just contact a broker and you can go ahead and proceed and start buying the stocks of the US companies and benefit in lots and lots of dollars. Hopefully these points can be useful. Do like this video if you find this useful, and do share it with people who may also benefit from this particular discussion, and hope to see you in the next video of Commerce Gyan. Thank you.